stories of our lives, words on a page, create a special feeling that become memories. Favorite melodies sung in harmony, lyrics that will tell your story. Come and join the adventures that we now share.
Thank you all for joining us on the Songs of Our Lives. In this episode, we will talk with Craig Kondruk, who shares some wonderful memories of his youth and some songs to go along with those stories. We will also hear from Michaud of Highland Studios as he answers the request of Craig with Jackson Browne's Barricades of Heaven. He will be backed up by Ian Smith on keys and vocals as well.
Hello, I'm sitting here with my friend Craig Kondruk, and he's going to tell you about the songs of his life. Hi, Craig.
Hi. I was thinking about that request last night, and I wrote down a few songs that have been powerful messages in my life, and I'm ready to share that when you.
Awesome. Well, you know, I've really enjoyed the conversations that you and I have had over the years about music. You bring an intelligence and an understanding to every conversation we've had that is very strong, and so I'm really encouraged for you to share some of your experiences with our audience. Craig, what role has music played in your life? What do you have any memories? Anything you'd like to share about the role music has played in your life?
I do. I'm going to give you 3 songs that were influential early in my life, and then I'd like to look at the first one in detail. This should answer your question as well. And the first one is The Barricades of Heaven by Jackson Browne. Amazing song that kind of speaks about my whole journey. And then the second one was one that was near and dear to my heart as a 16-year-old with a driver's license, Born to Be Wild. And then later, when I discovered motorcycles, I really enjoyed Riders on the Storm. It just was like a theme song. And in the background of all that, a friend put me on to Mose Allison and his a vast repertoire of blues and jazz things that I just never stopped enjoying until today.
That's awesome. Well, that's quite an array of difference, you know, with the Doors to Mose Allison to Steppenwolf. My brother used to listen to Steppenwolf, and I remember the album Cosmos Factory, I think, and I remember it clearly. And Riders on the Storm, I've played that song live. So those are great tunes. Can you tell me some of the memories that those songs inspire? Like,
I'll mention Riders or Born to Be Wild. I first heard that song no, that's not true. I heard that song as a young guy when I was 16, and that inspired me to wait at the foot of the Colchester Harbor Hill, and my buddies and I would sit there for 10, 15 minutes, a half hour, and when that song came on, we would go blasting up the hill and out into the county roads, and it was not uncommon to hit 100 miles an hour on dirt roads. We weren't particularly cautious at that chapter.
well, who was at that age?
But that was, music is powerful, right? And it affected me, the very core of my soul. I use the example with friends sometimes talking about, especially younger people, the strings on a sitar, where you have a top set of strings and a bottom set. And as you play the top set, the ones underneath resonate.
Right.
And that's what a song does to our souls, right? Something inside of us, the words and the music from that song resonate with my soul, and that's why I like it.
Well, you mentioned as we were setting up for this interview, I really like how you mentioned you look for music that has a connection, that you can connect to, and it's often the lyrics.
It must be the lyrics for me personally. I love a vast array of types of music, but there has to be a message there. And it can be a frivolous message that I enjoy, but the words have to say something that resonate with who I am.
Right. Cool.
And because it's funny that seems to be the bridge between the audience and the music. Some people are very moved by music. We were talking to another friend last night who is very moved by classical music and piano music. So, but there is something about lyrics that bridge the distance between audience and music. It's quite an interesting thing. So, you talked a little bit about music in the past and a memory. So now, what role does music play in your life now?
Well, I became a Christian in 1980, and that transformed my appetites and transformed who I was. So different things began to resonate with who I was and the priorities of my life.
Okay.
So, and there's just a wonderful, vast array of Christian music available out there going back 500, 1,000 years sometimes, right? And just 20 different kinds of contemporary music throughout the 80s, the 90s, and up until today. There's new, wonderful music coming out all the time.
It really is, and more now than ever before.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Christian music. The message doesn't change, but the musical styles do. I mean, the Christian music, I remember Pastor Alex Moyer once said, the Christian music book has grown over the centuries, and it's just, now there's so many songs to choose from. When I used to have to choose music as music minister at church, it got to be difficult with each year because there was so much more music to choose from and so many more tastes to identify with in the congregation. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, and is there a favorite song now? Are there any Christian songs that you like?
About 2,000, last count. But I have three favorites, and I have this habit of when I catch on to a song that really stirs my soul, I don't mind playing it 10 times in a row.
Yeah,
because
me
it just
too.
is so exhilarating to when something stirs you up to worship God. Three of them I put down here. It's called "It's About the Cross," and it's by a brother and sister, and they sing it a cappella, which if you've never checked out vocal cords on YouTube, please do it. It's a miracle how these two little flaps of skin, no, I'm seriously, produce these amazing sounds. So that's the first one. The second one is Hallelujah, an Easter version by a lady named Cassandra and her sister. Originally written by Leonard Cohen.
Great lyricist and songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
Bizarre lyricist and songwriter.
Yeah.
I mean, I've loved him for years, but only because he made me think so much about what is this guy talking about? He's got something to say, but he said it in such an unusual way.
There's the Easter version of that, and I know the Christmas version as well. And I sang that one year, and it was very moving. That melody
Powerful.
and chord progression is so hauntingly beautiful.
Well, as a Jewish priest, Cohen, that's probably one of the best songs he did. The closest to his role.
Oh man, and generations will enjoy that song.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was the second one, and the last one is Crucified with Christ by three guys named Phillips, Craig, and Dean. Just wonderful artists and tremendous lyrics. Now, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, you go ahead. You were gonna.
Well, I was gonna say, my favorite song, as I was reflecting on it last night, okay, so what's the best thing to focus on here, is this Barricades of Heaven by Jackson Browne, because it deals for me personally with the beginning of my life when I was, the lyrics just spell out the whole thing.
Well, if there was a song that you could hear, that if we could answer a song request for you,
Yeah.
what would that song be?
I would say Barricades of Heaven, because it will speak to everybody that listens. It'll speak to believers, and it'll speak to people who are still considering, hey, which way is which?
Why don't you share with us some of those lyrics from the song?
I'll start from the beginning. Running down the road along the towns along the shore, I was 16 and on my own. I couldn't tell you what the hell those brakes were for. I was just trying to hear my song. And as you look back, you go, yeah, that's what every young person is trying to find. A song that they can sing that expresses who they are and what life's all about. And we probably spend most of our lives finding those songs and enjoying them. Just trying to find my song, to hear it.
Do you have a specific memory? Like, is this song tied to any memory? Like you mentioned earlier, that how you likened it to driving along the shores of
Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, all the different parts. I mean, I was just trying to hear my song. Myself and my buddies went to all kinds of concerts in Detroit, the East Town. Just trying to hear our song, a particular something that really meshed with who we were and what we felt about life at that time.
Right.
We'd all get in the van and play. Life became the paradox, the Belle and the Rouge and Noir, and the stretch of road running to LA. Well, our bars had different names here, right? It was the Drop-In and the Embassy.
Right,
And we were going there. That
and
was
the
our
Riviera.
lives. The Rib, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Sandhill.
And what was the one on the far west end of town there?
The Lido.
The Lido.
Yeah.
So all these venues, we were there looking for several things,
That's
right?
yeah.
But we were there, if there was music, you were there and you were tuned in.
Well, that was the common denominator in all of those places. Music was key to those places.
Yeah. As was beer.
Well, true. And,
And maybe there was a cute girl there to boot, you know?
well, yeah. All of the
These
above.
were multi-purpose rooms, I think, the originals. So Jimmy found his own sweet sound and won that free guitar. Life became okay. Pages turning, pages we were years from learning. We were just poking at life, trying to find out what's going on, what's out there. And then he uses this line, better bring your own redemption. Oh, straight into the night our hearts were flung. Better bring your own redemption when you come to the barricades of heaven where I'm from. So when I was thinking about that, and especially last night, as a Christian, I'm an ambassador for Christ. So I am from the barricades of heaven. You know, I'm here to represent God and to let people know, hey, those barricades are pretty easy to open, but they just take some humility and some surrender. You know?
What a wonderful message. Yeah.
So that's why that song it embraces the whole thing, right? From my 16-year-old days flying up the hill in Colchester to today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, Craig, thank you for sharing. Those are very artistic lyrics.
Yeah, it'll remain a favorite. And I recommend it to young people too, and not so young people, like guys our age who still haven't figured out how do we get there, you know?
Hey, we're still young.
Yeah, well,
Hey, 70 is the new 50, right?
my birth certificate doesn't tell me that. If I could remember where it was.
Craig, thank you for sharing. It's been a real honor and privilege sitting with you today.
Mine as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig and Ian. Ladies and gentlemen, the talent in this next guest is phenomenal. We are talking about Luc Michaud, who did a wonderful cover of The Barricades of Heaven. He's the owner of Highland Studios in Windsor, Ontario, and they are a top-notch music production facility. Backing up Luc will be our own Ian Smith on keys and vocals. That was nice, fellas. Luke Michaud and Ian Smith. What a fine performance. Thank you also to Craig for your wonderful memories. Until next time, this is Wendell Phipps thanking you for tuning in to the Songs of Our Lives.